Welcome back to the Spiritual Psychologist for another brilliant episode. I have Luna here with me, but she is in a cute little position like this. In fact, I will show you. Hello, Luna, say hello. And I didn't want to move her. So we are talking today about the missing piece in your own and others' transformation. The thing is, if mindset work was enough, if changing your beliefs was enough, we would all be so free. We would all be so expansive. I believe in the power of mindset work. I love it. I bring it into my work with clients so much, and there is so much power to it. However, and there is a however here, we cannot work with one dimension only of our being. If we are working and looking at someone holistically, we have to look at them from a mind, body, and spirit level. If we are ignoring any of those realms in our work, we lose something. And so this is why I get so many people coming to me saying they've worked with psychologists before. They've worked with therapists for years. And whilst they might feel better, nothing is actually changing in terms of expanding into the reality that they know could exist for them. They end up feeling this continued loop or cycle rather than actually creating a shift, rather than creating a change in their lives. I'm going to talk today about how we can create transformation from a body, mind, and soul perspective. And here's the reality. You can't outthink trauma. You can't outthink fear in your body. What I know and what my clients know, what I know so deeply is that actually you need to go into the body to feel it. And if it feels really unsafe to meet that fear, you actually need smaller steps to create safety in your body so that you can go into that fear eventually, step by step, so that you can build a sense of pleasure in your body, so that you can meet and build that sense of not just safety in your body, but actual thriving, receivership, power, pleasure, joy, so that you can experience that in your body more and more. I remember working with a client recently, and she is brilliant. She has so many skills. She's very, very experienced. And there was also this piece coming through of her wanting to go deeper into her soul's path, to really get to this place of exploration of what was coming through, not from information, but from her ancestry. So I guided her into a process, into a visualization, into a deep meditation, where she started accessing codes, downloads, information from her ancestry, from her lineage. She connected with her ancestors, with the messages they had to give her. She also connected with the wounds that were there and the potency that existed within her line. This came through so strongly because I knew how to guide her into that space, how to create that sense of an entry point into meditation so that she could access those deeper parts of herself. That was extremely powerful. It was an emotional process for her. It opened up so much, which is now pouring into her work. She could see the link between what her family has experienced, what her mothers and her mothers' mothers had experienced, linking this into her work that she is bringing into the world today. That part of her would not have been accessed had I just focused on mindset, had I just focused on her beliefs. There is a deep rooting soul knowing that she is now able to access in her work and pour into her work. It's the same when I'm working with clients to activate their desires and to really tune into the next steps in their life. We go deep into soul vision. What is coming through for them uniquely, even if other people don't get it? What is coming through for them uniquely? And how can they build something towards becoming the version that can bring in those desires into their life, that can actually manifest and co-create with the unseen realms to invite in these magnificent expressions of themselves into their life. None of that would happen if we're just focusing on mindset work, right? And it's the same with the body. I remember a time when I felt so disconnected from my body. I didn't feel safe in it, let alone travel into my body to access pleasure, to access the deep knowing that my body held, because it felt unsafe to go there. I disconnected myself so much that doing anything that connected to it brought up so much. We can't just do mindset work and ignore that deep sense of fear that somebody has in their body. Their body is leading the way, which is why you can experience sometimes with clients these blocks, what looks like a block, where somebody disappears for a little bit, somebody shuts down, somebody responds in defense. So we can work with this through the body. We have to incorporate the body into our work. Otherwise, you are just going to be working at a surface level. You're just going to be working with the mind rather than working at a deeper level of what exists within the body. Somebody can know cognitively what their next step is, but their body can be saying, no, this is too scary. And so we need to know how it is to work with that somatic response that's coming up for somebody, rather than just saying you're being lazy or you're not doing it. Working with that part of somebody is going to help them to liberate and create transformation, and to also learn how it is that they can work with the emotions, the somatic responses that are arising in their body and not feel totally wiped out by them. I had an experience earlier on today where I saw a message, I listened to a message, and it triggered in my body this fast heart racing sensation. My heart was racing like this. And I had to take a deep breath and acknowledge that. In the past, I would have felt so overwhelmed and I would have just gone into talking to try and process things. In that moment, what I could do was acknowledge this somatic response that was coming up. But I could also activate the powerful part of me that knows that I also get to respond to this message from deep groundedness and knowing, not from fear and panic because of my past childhood wounds. So we get to really work with all realms. Mindset is so powerful. I bring this into my work as well. But without embodiment, without supporting people to their soul and their soul's desires and what it is that they are here on this earth to do, what it is that they're here on this earth to heal, we are only hitting surface level stuff. I want to share with you 3 layers of transformation that I bring into my work within the Freedom Expansion method. This is a method that I created which incorporates psychology, spirituality, and embodiment. First of all, we look at the psychological patterns, traumas, emotional wounds that are present. We've got to have that understanding of psychology. We've got to understand how people's experiences have created an impact on their perception of the world. Not just their perception, but their lived experience within the body. We actually do need to understand that piece around how childhood shapes somebody's existence. This awareness, I know, as a psychologist that has been doing this work for more than 18 years, I know the importance of really understanding trauma patterns, attachment, all of those pieces. They really have a role to play in our work. So in our work, we get to explore these layers. What are people bringing into your sessions? What are people bringing into the space that is impacting on your relationship with them, that is impacting on their relationship with the world? We have to understand the depths of this in our work. We also need to understand nervous system regulation. We need to understand what is happening at that somatic level that is preventing somebody from moving forward, that is stopping somebody in their tracks. We need to be able to go deeper. So that is layer 2, understanding the nervous system. Where is somebody's nervous system at? Is it in a constant freeze response? We need to understand how to create a stretch of that person's capacity so that they can live in more joy, in more freedom, in greater expansion, that they can call in the things that bring them pleasure. I look at myself and my social media, my content creation. How I show up today is so much more fearless than when I started this account, the Spiritual Psychologist, a few years ago. My nervous system capacity to be able to hold different people's opinions, to be able to hold the edge of what if somebody doesn't like what I'm saying? What if somebody judges me? Has been stretched. The way that I have stretched that is through practicing what it is like in my body when there are these horrible sensations that arise of judgment, of being disliked. That is a capacity that I have stretched, that I have grown. And we can do this with our clients. Whatever it is that they are moving through, we can support them in that elasticity that they are bringing to be able to not just cope in life, but be able to thrive in life. Thirdly, we want to be exploring spiritual and energetic channels. We want to be exploring what is coming through for the client at a soul level. What do I mean by this? There is a fire, a knowing that every person has in them around their next steps. I had it just today. I was tuning into how when it gets to December, I always like to really take a day for myself to celebrate the business, to celebrate who I have become in this last year. I had this inner knowing in my body of I want to experience something that involves luxury, where I'm taking myself into an experience that I've maybe not taken myself to before. I want more of an expansive space than maybe just a few hours to really dive deep into closing any loops and welcoming in, getting ready to welcome in 2026 as well. And so I already have this knowing of where I would love to do this, what I would love to treat myself to. If you were doing the same, you might have a different download. You might have a different experience of what that thing is. You might not want to do what I'm doing because you have a different soul calling. So we want to be really exploring that sense and understanding of what it is that your client's soul is desiring. And when we bring these three worlds together of psychology, embodiment, and soul knowing, spirituality, you create the most incredible, powerful, potent transformation for yourself and for your clients. This is the freedom expansion method that I bring into all of my work, that I teach in the Academy of Healing, so that we are birthing into the world the most incredible, potent, transformational guides and healers. If you are ready to support people into transformation, into change, into activation in their lives, if you really desire to support people to activate a deeper sense of pleasure and joy in their life, then follow that calling. You are not meant to be leading, if you are listening to this, in a surface level way. You are here to go deeper and to support your clients in joyful, magical, yet potent ways. If you are desiring to become a powerful leader and a powerful space holder, I invite you to join the Academy of Healing. Our cohort in January 2026 is now open for enrollment. Click the link below. You can check out the Academy of Healing website. The early bird is open for just a short time. This is an application only process. I would love to connect with you if you are feeling the call to this 1 year incredible space of certification and transformation.